Well, hello folks. I got two of these here drivers, electric screwdrivers from Harbor Freight. They're $8.99 each, and they're only made for driving screws only. They come with their own bits, magnetic chuck, and they're really nice for screw driving. They're NiCad batteries and very nice and strong. But it'd be nice to have one of these to be used for screw driving and make another one that I can use for drilling with, because they're nice and compact, nice and small. It'd be nice for making for doing small drill work and stuff like that. So I decided to come up with a collet system that I can put drill bits in, and I came up with a system here. This is not my design; it's just a copy of another design, but I made these here. They're collets and a sleeve and a holder that I can put drill bits into. I have a 16th, 3/32, and an 1/8 inch. It'll accommodate those three size bits. And then now I can be able to use this with one of these drivers to be used as a drill now. And I'll show you how I did the machining of these. I like this bigger size better here. I can make two collets, one for an 1/8 inch bit and one for a 16th inch bit, and anything in between. But I think this would be a nice size collet right here. Nice size to work with. I'll go with these dimensions here on this. This is steel shafting that's in here, and I am getting it down to a 7/16 diameter so I can put a 5C collet on there. That should be good. Okay. What I'm getting ready to do now is the threaded portion that's on the handle here, inside here, I'm going to thread it 1224 TPI, and that's what I'm getting ready to do right now on this workpiece now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and drill, and I'm going to tap this to 1224, and that would take care of the thread that is inside the body. The part that's chucked up right now is a part that's eventually going to become the hex part of that will actually slide into the drill chuck itself. So now I'm going to go ahead and tap this, drill and tap it. Okay, on the original piece here that we're copying off of, there's just a small little lip right here at the edge here, where before it gets threaded in, that catches a little nub here on the sleeve that just makes it fit in there nicely like that, makes it seat in there properly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to make a little bit of just a little bit of a bore here to fit the sleeve on ours. Okay, on ours here it looks like a 1/4 inch end mill. Yeah, 1/4 inch should work for that. If I use a 1/4 inch end mill here and just bore that in a little bit like a counter bore for about maybe a 1/16 of an inch or so. I'm set up here with a 1/4 inch end mill here in the drill chuck, and I have a little dial indicator here set up here, and so I'll go ahead now and counter bore this to about 65 thousandths. Okay, that takes care of that part. I decided that I'm going to increase that there counter bore diameter to 5/16 instead of a 1/4 inch, just go a little bit wider yet. That's a lot better now. Okay. Next part would be to work on the sleeve now, and And there's collets that go in there now. Here's the next part. Okay, now I can get a wrench on there, so I can hold it whenever I tighten the next part that the bit goes into. Otherwise, it would be kind of difficult to try to hold that by itself. This makes a nice wrench holding for it to grab hold of it. Okay, now it's time to start working on the collet itself now. We'll make that out of aluminum. This one's made out of aluminum too, the commercial one. So we'll make ours out of aluminum and see how that works. Okay, what I'm doing right now is I'm putting a couple flats on here, one on each side, 180 degrees from each other, top and bottom, and that's so I can put a wrench on there when I go to tighten the bit up. Okay, now when I do the machining on each one of these blanks, I have the commercial collet right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do two operations. The first operation I'm going to do is I'm going to do the drilling that I need to drill for each bit in each one of these blanks, and that's going to be for one blank at a time. And once I get the drilling done, then I'm going to use the angle on my compound slide, and I'm going to cut this here taper also on the blank as well. And then once I get that done, I'll be able to pull this out and it'll be ready then for the slotting. Okay, now I need to figure out this here angle now on this here taper here. And I have some angle blocks here. This one here is 10 degrees. What I'll do is I'll set this on my surface plate here, the square side down this way, the taper going up this direction here, and I'll set my commercial piece here on top of that. and I'll get down, I'll look at this, and I'll see that this here, let me show you here, when I put that taper on top like that and match that taper, you can see how that angles down, okay? So that's a 10 degree. The next one here is 15 degree. If I put that taper on the thing like that, and I put it there, you see how that's nice and level going across the top this way? And that's sitting flat on the angle here, so that's about a 15 degree angle for this taper right here. Because this is a very small taper I need to cut here, I can use my compound slide. There's no need to have to use my tapering jig for this because it's a very small amount of taper, a very small distance I need to go. So I'll just turn this here to 15 degrees, which is about right there. Now I'm coming back in the other direction now. Get a nice smooth pass coming back. And that should be the last pass. Now for a finishing pass. I speed it up. Get a more smoother pass now. There you go. Alright. What I'll do is put some sandpaper that now and smooth that out. Yeah, it's nice and smooth now. Very smooth. That's what you want. Beautiful. There it is. Nice and smooth. Nice transition from the top to the side. Round that over a little bit and then we'll be ready to drill it. Beautiful. Okay, next up now will be to drill this now. Okay, a little explanation here now on machining parts. Now I have this one here tapered done. I have my compound slide set up here for tapering. I have two more of these that I need tapered as well. Now I could go ahead and take this out and put these other two in and do all the tapering at one time before I do the drilling. But in this case here, I want to try to keep the hole that I drill in there concentric with the tapering. So in order to do that, instead of taking this out of the chuck after I tapered it, I'll go ahead and do the drilling now at the same time before I take this out of the chuck. That way there, everything is concentric. The hole being drilled will be concentric with the machining of this taper here. In this particular case, it's really not that important, but still it's good practice to get into, that whenever you try to keep things concentric, you want to try to plan your steps so that you're machining things without taking them out of the chuck. You got them all in the same position to do all the machining operations at one time. And that's what I'm demonstrating here. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll set my drill bit up here, and I'll drill this one for 1/8 inch diameter, and I want to go down so far to here. And that's coming up next. Okay, now it's ready to come out of the chuck. Got all machining done on it. And the last part of this now is to put this in my milling machine and do the slotting that'll come down so far. Here at my milling machine I have my spin jig set up here, and I have a 5/16 collet in there that I can grab a hold of this. This is 312. What I did was I machined this, like the commercial one, 320 thousandths of an inch in diameter from here down the neck on this part here. But for about 1/8 of an inch for here, I gave myself about 312 thousandths, which is about 5/16 of an inch in diameter, for about 1/8 of an inch length here, so that I can grip this in my collet here. I don't want to grip it by any kind of, make any kind of fixture and grip it on the threads here. That would be kind of weak. I want to grip it right on the body here itself. And when I bring my blade in to cut this, make the slots, I'll only come down so far to about here and stop. And that's what's coming up next now on my milling machine. Okay, I have 3 collet blanks machined here now. They're all threaded, and they're now ready to be drilled. I have one here that I'll do for an 1/8 inch bit, 3/32 and a 1/16 inch bit, and that will accommodate all the bits I need for this project. And the next thing to do now is to put these back in my lathe now and do the drilling now for each bit. Okay, the next part of this now will be to make the slots in the collets here, and I'll use a small slitting saw like this to do this with. I'll have to work at it in steps because this will not go back all the way because of the nut here, so I'll have to work it in a little bit of steps this way here. And this is not just a normal slitting saw blade. This is the kind of blade that you get on these here Harbor Freight little miter boxes, power miter boxes. And you can purchase these blades separate, and that's what this is. I took one of those blades and made an arbor for it, and I'm using that now for slitting blades, nice and thin, very thin for that. And we'll get this here set up on my milling machine here, and I'll show how I'll get this set up on my milling machine to get the exact center here, and that's coming up next. Okay, that came out good. Cutting those slits in here for the collet. And that there collet is now done. And 2 more to go. Okay, I finished machining the slots in these now. And I have one here for an 1/8 inch bit, The second one here I have for a 3/32 inch bit. And finally I have one here for the 16th inch bit. And these would be the three size bits that I'll be using for this small little drill here, for the setup here. So now the next thing to do would be the last part of this would be to make the sleeve now, and that sleeve is what's used to tighten the collet. As you can see here, the collet slides in the sleeve. The sleeve then, the collet screws into the main body here, and then as it catches here, we turn the sleeve. As we turn the sleeve, it pulls the collet down inside and it crimps the collet, and that's the sleeve that we're going to make next. Now I'm not going to make it like that kind of a sleeve shape there, but I'm going to use that setup as far as a sleeve to close the collets, and we'll see how that comes out. This is a part of that steel shafting that I have left over from the piece that we made on this part here, and that's what I'm going to make our version of the sleeve from now, out of this, and I'll make it work this way here. Okay, the first thing the machine here is on the sleeve. There's a little nub right here that fits down inside the counter bore here on the handle itself, and that's what we're doing with ours here. I have a little bit of a counter bore here, and that's about 312, and so that's what we'll use, 5/16 counter bore here. So we'll machine a nub on this sleeve to fit this counter bore. Okay, that fits there real nice now. Fits real good. Okay, while we have this in this position here, we have to now drill through for about a 1/4 inch, 250 thousandths diameter, because that has to be able to fit the thread diameter here that will be fitting in through here. And that's coming up next. Okay, here's what we got done so far. We have the on this here sleeve here, we have that little nub fixed there so that we can fit that on there like that. We also have the whole board out so that we can put the thread through like this. And the next thing to do now will be to put this in the 5C collet on the mill and mill the two flats just like we have here, so that we can put a wrench on there to tighten this. And then we'll go back to the lathe and then do the final boring to the 7/16 diameter that will fit the actual collet itself like this. Okay, the next thing now would be to cut it off to about 1 inch in length here, to almost a finished length here. The next thing to do now would be to put this back on my lathe and clean that up, and then do the final bore that goes down so far and stops, so this fits in, and then maybe do a little bit of a taper, an inside taper here to match this here taper here, since I have my compound slide already set up there in my lathe, and then we'll see how well this works. Okay, in order to set this back up in my lathe here, I just put it on the same reamer that I used to ream that with, and then I put it in the chuck and tighten the chuck jaws up, and then I turned it on again and just did another ream job like this here to straighten it out, and so now that's pretty well concentric. Now I'm ready to go. Okay, I have a mark here how far down I need to take this. For the reaming. I'm just pushing the whole tailstock in by hand here. Okay, where the collet reaches into here now. Okay, now what I'll just do a little bit of a tapering here on the inside to clean that inside up a little bit now. Over here on the bench now, let's give it a try. Got an 1/8 inch bit, put in the 1/8 inch collet, slide the collet down through the sleeve like this. This is the part that we made that goes into the drill. Right here, that's the adapter. Screw the whole thing together like this. And then here's take a wrench on the one here. Now this here, the bit's nice and loose here right now. And then we just do a little tightening right here. A little more yet. Oh, pretty much there. There it is. Okay. That's nice and tight. Won't pull out. Yeah, okay, a little more yet. Okay, let's get the wrench on here and get a little bit more tighter. We'll try that again, a little more here. There we go. Now let's give it a try and see if it stays in. There, now it's in there. Can't pull it out now. Alright. So it's going to work. So the clamping system works on this. It works about as good as the commercial one. Loosen it up here now. And what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to do a little bit of filing here inside here a little bit to get this smooth, because what happens is this does get a little bit caught here a little bit. Just got to tap it up a little bit here, like that. And there we go. Okay, so it just takes a little bit of filing, a little bit of sanding here, a little bit on the inside, make that more smoother. But the concept works just like the commercial one that we made it for. So it is going to work. And of course that will go into the drill here, and later on what I'll do, we'll get this fastened to here somehow and figure out how we're going to do that. And that'll be the next part of this project. But okay, there we go. To this point here now, so we got down to that point. The next thing to do now will be to work on getting this fastened onto here, either tape it on or glue it in. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, because this is going to keep on pulling out whenever I go to drill with it. So that's why I need to make this whole piece here so I can have that access to do that. Alright, that's all for now. Okay, let's give this a try. Let's try a small 16th inch bit. We'll take the 16th inch collar here, put that bit in there, drop it in the sleeve, then put the base on here, and we'll tighten it down and see how well this works. That's getting nice and tight. And we'll just go ahead and get the wrench on here so we can tighten this up. Tighten this up now. Okay, as tight as I can get it. And let's give it a try now and see how that works. Okay, I'm over here on my wooden bench here now, and let's see how well this goes through this wood now. See how well it works. And something, hold it. If I tighten that up, something ain't working here. Okay, hold on. Okay, I think I found the problem. I'm trying to use steel metal bits in aluminum sleeves, and I thought I could make it out of aluminum, these here sleeves, but I think probably that's the problem. As soon as it's not, I have this as tight as I can get it. It can't get any tighter. The collet is closing, it's grabbing, but it's not, but it's actually spinning inside here because I think the steel bits is not, the aluminum sleeves here, or collets, are just, the aluminum is just too mild, too soft, and it's just grinding away the aluminum on the steel bits. So I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make a whole set of steel bits off steel collets off camera here, and then we'll see how that works. Okay, hello, welcome back. I was off camera here and I made 3 steel collets here, 1/16 of an inch, 3/32, and 1/8 of an inch, just like the aluminum ones. Only being out of steel, I think this might work better. We're going to go ahead and put that 1/16 inch bit now in the steel collet and see how that works now. So slide this in here like this. Now that's loose, very loose, but we're going to see how that works. See if it tightens up in the sleeve here. Put that in the sleeve like this. Hey, that's tightening up. Look, that's tightening up. Let's put a little wrench to it here now. Let's see how this works. It'd be nice if this actually worked, because the other one was sliding in the aluminum. Now that I got steel here, then maybe this will actually make it work better. Tighten it up here. Let's see how this works. Alright, let's see if this stays in. Back at my wooden bench here again, and let's give it a test number 2 now and see how it works. This is with the steel now, and see how it works with the steel collets. Well, that actually stayed together. It stayed in there. Try it again. Make sure it's not spinning, or make sure it's not. It's going right through. It's spinning right with the collet. The collet's not spinning out. It works. It actually works. It's going to a 2 before. Well, I can't see down in the light. Okay, it's actually working then. The steel collets work. I like it. See, this would be nice for hinges and stuff like that. Okay, so the steel collets work then. So I'm happy with that, and that works good. Okay, then I can get rid of these here aluminum ones. I don't need these. I can just get rid of these. And if I need to make any more collets, I'll make them out of steel now for other size bits. So I have the 1/16 inch, 3/32, and 4/32, or 1/8 inch. And I have those 3 sizes there out of the box. And if I want to make any more collets to hold any more bits, I could just make a collet as I need for each bit I need. But I just want to use them for the small bits, for doing small drill work, such as for finishing nails and stuff like that, where I need to do some kind of pilot holes. That's all these are for. It's for pilot hole drilling. Okay, well, that works really good. I'm glad I got this machine project done on this here, and I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. Bye.